But just because every 5 minutes there's something to laugh about the Jets on, the Chargers win tonight. They had 2 drives longer than 24 yards.
Yeah.
And they still scored 27 points and beat the Jets 27-6, right?
Defense, special teams, domination.
But the Jets' offense is just so bad, and we've talked about a lot the last hour about how bad it is and how the Jets refuse to understand that there was a problem. You saw how bad it was a week ago. All right, that should have been your last sign going, beep, beep, beep. This is really, really bad,
Sound
man.
the alarm.
This is really, really bad, man. I mean, it's really bad. And what do you get? This is what you get coming off of a big, and you don't make a move.
You realize,
and you watch Zach Wilson play like this, and you watch the entire offense play like this because, look, when we got into this a couple weeks ago, I said, look, there's a lot that's wrong here. The Jets went all in on Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers got hurt. They brought in the players that he wanted. They thought, look, this is going to be great. Aaron likes Allen Lazard. We're going to go get Allen Lazard. Allen Lazard is washed.
You think we need one more? Let's go get Randall Cobb while we're at it.
Randall Cobb can't even get on the field, right? You have Garrett Wilson, who's great, and that's really it. And now you have an offense that your receivers are terrible, your offensive line is hurt, and your quarterback stinks. And I don't know why they feel the need to be so beholden to Zach Wilson when he has done nothing but not even clear the lowest bar. Like, it's one thing if you got to live, but guys that have been long-time backups that are getting chances to play now. Josh Dobbs, keep going. Josh Dobbs was okay for Arizona. With no practice, he won a game for Minnesota yesterday. Like, there's guys that barely play. Will Levis, no reps as number 1 quarterback. He comes in and he's great. At some point, you've had 3 seasons to know our quarterback is bad. And if something happens, we have to go out and get something else. And they didn't do it when Aaron Rodgers got hurt. Okay. Again, I go back to the horror movie thing.
Well, they did bring in Tim Boyle.
When the old man says, I wouldn't go in those woods because there's a guy in there, man, wearing a hockey mask and he just kills everybody. Yeah, but when's the last time he killed somebody? Maybe he's not going to kill anybody this weekend. No, I don't know. I wouldn't go there. I think he just killed a bunch of people last week. Cops were here, took a bunch of stuff out. I wouldn't go. Nah, thanks a lot, old man. All right, we're going to go. And then they go in, and then Jason goes up, and he starts tearing up the camp, and people go, oh, well, you know what I should do instead of running away? I'm going to stay here and try to fight him. No, you don't try to run away. How many warnings, how many chances to throw the emergency brake do you get in a horror movie? And no, I'm going to continue to make bad decisions. I don't know who makes worse decisions, people in a horror movie or the Jets. But you had the offseason where you signed Aaron Rodgers. You are turning the page on Zach Wilson. Why the hell do you feel the need to say, hey, we're going to keep him, he's going to be our backup? You're done with him. You're done. You're done because he stinks. He was overdrafted. He wasn't a guy. You gave him 2 full years, and you couldn't even trust him to throw the football more than 5 yards. He's bad. So you should have gone out and got another guy, and you didn't. Okay, Rodgers gets hurt. Oh, man, now we're stuck with Zach Wilson. And Zach Wilson still struggles every single week to put points on the board, to move the team. He's inaccurate. Not all of it is his fault, but you know what? A good quarterback overcomes stuff. Again, see Josh Dobbs, who was able to walk in with no practice and win a game. So the Jets had another chance to say, okay, we may need to get better at quarterback. Let's try to go get a guy at the deadline. No, we're not going to get a guy at the deadline because Rodgers is coming back. If Rodgers was coming back sometime in mid-November or in a week or two, I would say, okay, hey, we're going to try to stay afloat. But you don't know when he's going to come back. And don't you want to win games until then? Because, again, Josh Dobbs, I'm going to tell you and show you that. He showed you that with no practice time, I can come in and win a game. I don't need practice. Don't worry about how long it's going to take you to get up to speed with the playbook. Josh Dobbs didn't even know the plays, man. He's saying, hey, Justin, go long. I'm Jordan. Justin's out. Oh, right. Sorry. All right, Justin's out. Jordan. You sound like all guys from New Kids on the Block. Yeah. Right? We got Justin and Jordan and KJ.
Well, they are back on tour.
Yeah. And Alexander. Yeah, we're all, ain't nothing but a heartache. So he goes and wins games.
Yeah.
And I don't need to know the playbook. The Jets could have done it. They had multiple chances to say, we need to make sure we get better at quarterback. And again, it's not all on Zach Wilson, but a decent quarterback is able to cover up and make some kind of plays, and he can't. And they don't call plays that do what he does great. They don't let him get outside the pocket. They don't let him throw downfield. They don't do any of these things. And the Jets wind up struggling every single week, and they didn't have to. And that's the worst part, is that this is not, well, hey, X, Y, and Z happen and you're trying to adjust on the fly. No, you had multiple warnings. You need to get better here. Need to get better. No. We're fine. We don't need to do anything. We don't do anything, old man. We're going in. I got 6 packs of beer. I got a lot of pot. We're going to have sex. And I got everything we need, old man. That's going to fight. You take your serial killer and you shove it. All right? Okay.
I will tell you this. The way you describe it, that's one hell of a way to go. I mean, I could be more crass with some of the things that my uncle always talked about when he would die, how he had wished, and you could go to the worst imaginable things, whatever the crassest, is that a word?
Sure.
Crudest thing that goes into your head, that's what he had to say. Now, Zach Wilson, 5.37 yards per pass attempt today, as he does go for 263, absorbed 8 sacks, couple of fumbles, all of those things. Your guy Breece Hall is also a whole other thing, right? Because you don't have to worry about Zach Wilson other than what Garrett Wilson does. And Conklin and a couple of guys made plays later. That's all fine and good. But you look at the Breece Hall stats to kind of show the problem has as many tentacles at this point. He had that 127-yard performance against the Bills in the season opener. He had 177 yards against the Broncos. The most carries he had all year. Otherwise, let's see. Against Cowboys, he averaged 2.2 yards. Against the Patriots, 1.5. 9.3 against Chiefs. That was good, but he had 6 carries. Broncos, 8 yards a carry. And then the last 3 games.
He's leading the NFL in yards per carry. I mean, that Breece Hall is not the problem.
12 for 39, 12 for 17, 16 for 50.
Well, look at tonight. What happened tonight? The Jets got down 14-0 in the first quarter.
But what I'm saying is,
you're not going to be able to run the football. You know, you can't. You're down 14-0. That may as well have been 50 points for the Jets.
He still had 16 carries.
Yeah,
and he barely fell forward.
Okay,
don't try to absolve him. Because it's all the problem.
I'm saying he doesn't take every snap.
No, he's not the head of the snake here. No, the decision makers are the ones that need to be called out. And obviously, Zach Wilson, you felt a lot better about him 3.5 hours ago.
I never felt good about Zach Wilson.
No, you did, though.
No, I never did.
No, you loved him.
As even the Jets are winning, I'm telling you, Zach Wilson stinks. And even when they win, I tell you, don't forget he stinks. Don't forget. Every Jets win is tempered by don't forget he stinks.
They won in spite of him, ... No, it's a difficult thing when you see, look, Mike White, while he was no great shakes, he's down in Miami. And now you have Tim Boyle, who couldn't hang on as the backup in Chicago. Brought back. Now he's the backup for the Jets. And, you keep referencing Josh Dobbs. Remember, he is the new Ryan Fitzpatrick. As an aerospace engineer, he is the smartest quarterback in the room. Although I don't think he reminds you of that by bringing any kind of family members up there.
I think Taylor Heineke's the new Ryan Fitzpatrick, where he plays well for a little bit and you think, and then he turns back into Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I'm just going into the smartest guy.
No, but but the thing is, Heineke's jumped from team to team. He's played really well in spurts, but then goes back to being that guy.
See,
Taylor Heineke, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Yeah,
yeah, they're like the Jekyll Hyde of Ryan Fitzpatrick, heir apparents, as it were. But yeah, for your Jets, it's a mess. Like as soon as Rodgers went down, you got to go into the Marcus play. Well, I mean, last week before the trade deadline, what do? We harped on Jerry Jones time and time again. What came into play down in yesterday's loss to the Eagles? The fact that you didn't have another wide receiver to go to. And look, Ferguson's wide open doing
They're working out Martavis Bryant tomorrow for a reason.
Hey, talk about a guy, another guy whose career was jettisoned for the fact that he couldn't lay off the weed.
Hey, did you hear the Cowboys are working out Bryant tomorrow? Nah, not you, Dez. A different one. Sorry.
Oh, bring back the X. Sorry. But they also didn't go get a running back. Whether it was Derrick Henry or anybody else, we thought maybe a reunion with Zeke Elliott could be in the cards. Nope, didn't do any of that. Tony Pollard continues to struggle, and especially in short yardage situation, he's a non-factor. So the fact that teams couldn't look themselves in the mirror and get out of their own ways to go into the trade market or free agent market when you've had players floating around, particularly running back, you can always find someone to bring into the mix and give a look-see that we're now at a point with your Jets, this is a massive loss because it's Monday Night Football. You had a playoff atmosphere to start. You have the Chargers coming in. Yes, they beat up on a Bears team that's sinking towards the bottom of the pit once again. They're not climbing out like Bane. But now you have the situation where you let their defense dictate things instead of trying to attack a secondary that's been beatable. You held the ball in the pocket. You showed those warts because when they operated fast, what'd they do? They moved the ball. And then Zach Wilson reverted to old form of like, all right, I'm going to stand in the pocket, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Oh, I just got hit. Get rid of the ball.
Now there isn't always just doom and gloom. With the Jets, it seems like it. But there is a little bit of hope. All right, now you want to talk about the
dangerous thing, man.
The one thing that can save the Jets, because there's only one thing, because it's not anybody with the team, because Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh continue to biff chances that they needed to do to make the team better. This is from after tonight's game. The Chargers beat the Jets, and Derwin James of the Chargers on the field, and he's shaking hands with Aaron Rodgers. And we're going to play the audio for you and try and listen to see what you can hear. We'll tell you exactly what's said. Derwin James asks Aaron Rodgers, how long till you're back?
When you coming back, man?
All right, he says, when you coming back? And Aaron Rodgers says, in a few weeks.
Give me a couple of weeks.
Yeah, a few weeks. And then you heard Jared say, yeah, come on and suit up. I don't know if he said they need you suit up. That wouldn't surprise me. That's the only thing that can save the Jets. He is the only thing. Because that's the only addition they can make that will change what's going on now. Because clearly they don't know how to make any changes offensively to try to make the team better. They're still running the same offense, which is terrible. Which, when you keep running the same offense is terrible, make a few changes. You try to do things a little bit differently. No, the Jets won't do that. The only thing they can hope for is that he has this miraculous recovery. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking, boy, if he rushes all the way back and then gets hurt and he blows out his Achilles again, like, what's that going to mean? But now I'm thinking, when he says a few weeks, is that like after Thanksgiving? Is that, because if he said in a month or two, that's the normal Christmas holiday deadline that we thought Aaron Rodgers was still shooting for, right? He's going to come back around Christmas because the season goes up through the new year. But when he says a few weeks, I'm saying, okay, this is nearly mid-November now. Are we going to see him right after Thanksgiving? We're going to see him like week 12